Well, hello, and I'm not sure what happened with my music there. That's not supposed to be the right music, which means I get a copyright violation for that, which is ridiculous because I paid for it. But there you go. Sometimes, sometimes weird things happen. What can you say? Sorry, I'm just posting a live link for a few folks who wanted to tune in, and yeah, trying to get started here. My apologies that I'm a little disheveled at the moment, a little tired. Been a long day. A long, difficult day. To say otherwise would be a lie, and I will never lie to you. I'm okay for the most part. I mean, realistically, I'm pretty good. Just, I'm a little, hmm, mentally not ideal right now, and that's the truth. I had a, I had a moment earlier today while I was out walking Lola, my beloved Dogo Argentino, my doggy, and walking with her, and I was just in a panic state of mind, anxious, anxiety ridden moment where I thought, I just, I don't have a lot of job prospects right now. The future's not looking as bright as it once would. Money's running low. Christmas is rapidly approaching. I have some phone calls and business to take care of, but I've not been able to bring myself to do it because of the anxious feeling one has when we're trying to calm all the demons in the mind. And that's kind of where I am right now. So, I could always be worse, but I could always be much better too. Anyway, I think I'll be okay in the long run. Just sometimes you just gotta, I guess, go through it. Go through it, and hopefully things turn out okay. I think they will. I think everything will be fine in the long run. I'm just kind of struggling at the moment. And to say otherwise would be a lie. Like I said, I will never lie to you. It's just sometimes it's a little difficult, you know. You wanna do the right thing. You wanna you, you wanna grow. You want to be a better person. And sometimes it's just exhausting. You just don't have the energy. Today I didn't have the energy to do much other than lie on the couch and read. And then, of course, sorry, just adjusting my mic here. Anybody who knows anything about Canadian politics, it was quite the day, to say the least. Some weirdness that took place. I'm not going to discuss that here. I have a separate show for that, of course, but if you have any interest, um, yeah, you can always tune in, hang out, talk. Talking's the big thing, I think. Being able to discuss with one another what we're feeling when we're feeling it, I think, is important. Sorry, I'm just slightly distracted here by some glitchy things that my ADHD OCD brain is having trouble with at the moment. So today, like I said, was not an easy day. And, there's going to be days like that. We're going to have those throughout our life. Doesn't matter how well things are going, we're still going to have difficult days. I really need to do some cleaning of my office, my studio. It's kind of a mess right now. Sorry. There's the OCD kicking in, or the ADHD. I don't know. It's one of the D's. Get your dirty mind out of the gutter. So yeah, trying to do my best to be my best when I don't feel like I'm at my best, physically or emotionally. I need to be there for, all the people in my life that rely on me. But I gotta admit, it's been a struggle. And like I said, I was out walking my dog earlier and had a full blown anxiety attack. Now, I mean, if somebody met me on the street, they wouldn't know because I'm very good at wearing the mask and hiding it. And I didn't want Lola to know that I was upset because she's out walking and sniffing and enjoying the snow, which is weird for a doggo, but she likes the snow. She's a happy dog. And that brings me joy. But that being said, I was, having that existential crisis of how am I going to get through this? As the money starts to dwindle, Christmas is coming. I'm not going to be able to buy anybody gifts. I got bills to pay. I should have some money coming in soon, a little bit anyway, not a lot, but I'm expecting. Once I make a phone call tomorrow, I should start to see some money through EI, employment insurance, for my American friends who might not be aware of what EI is. And I gotta get a job. That's what it boils down to. I'm, burning through my savings, and it's there for that purpose, of course, but that's not what I wanted to use it for. I mean, thank goodness I have it, but it's not what I wanted to use it for. The plan was to save and invest and grow it so that, someday I could possibly retire and have, a bit of a nest egg. But as it starts to dwindle, you start to have a lot of self-doubt. And like I said earlier, with the shorter days, it doesn't help. I'd love to be able to go skiing. Some of the ski hills are open, although the weather's not it's not cooperating at the moment because of the fact that it was really cold. They all made snow, and then it's going to be 5 degrees tomorrow, which means it's going to melt tremendously. And snow is melting today. It already did that last week. We got a lot of snow, and then we had the mild period, and it melted, and now everywhere is turned to ice. The slush turns to ice and refreezes, and then thaws again and refreezes again, and yeah, it just won't make for great skiing conditions. And for me to go skiing now, because I sold my car, I have to really plan it. Either find somebody who's going and hitch a ride with them, or find a shuttle bus. So, yeah, it's not so easy anymore. And, of course, with the financial strain I'm facing, I don't know if I'll be able to get any more skiing in this year. We'll see. I mean, things could turn around. I hope they do. It's always darkest before the dawn, right? But today was kind of a dark day, and the weather didn't cooperate. Gray and overcast, and it takes its toll. So yeah, I'm feeling a little broken right now, and that happens. And like I said, I apologize that I've not been here for the last few weeks. I did, like I said, visit my friend in Calgary. We had a few days there. We got to hang out and got some skiing in, and that was wonderful. And I had some meetings scheduled, but they all got canceled because of COVID, believe it or not. Not me, but the people I was supposed to meet with had COVID, so the meetings were canceled. So maybe in the future we can meet and discuss some business opportunities. I had a couple of people who wanted to pitch me on a few things, so nobody knows what the future holds, but sometimes it's just hard to stay positive when everything is sort of falling apart around you. And that's sort of how I feel at the moment, like everything's falling apart. I know that's not actually the case. I mean, I just, I just feel like it. And it's, as the saying goes, it's all in your head. And when it comes to mental health issues, whether it's depression or anxiety, it's definitely all in your head. The medication helps. Better sleep patterns help. Reducing things that create anxiety also helps. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And I'm working. I'm working on it. Tomorrow will be a busy day. I missed a deadline on something, and that's haunting me right now. And of course, the anxiety starts to hit you that you've missed a deadline, and what does that do to your reputation? And all you're fighting every day is to just get up and get out of bed and get on with your day. And I need to sit behind a microphone and do some narration, and I'm struggling with that right now. I really am. But hopefully tomorrow I can change that. That's my plan, is to pull myself up by my bootstraps, as so many people like to say, and get on with it. And I think I can. I think I can do that tomorrow. Probably going to go to bed shortly after this because I'm tired. It's been a day. My back's hurting. And the demons that reside in one's head when you're going through a mental health crisis are all screaming at me right now. So I'm just trying to put them out of my mind while I can meditate on better things, concentrate on feeling better and getting better. And oddly enough, I have the runway to do it, in the sense that I don't have to be anywhere tomorrow. But I do have deadlines and timelines and things that need to get done, and I have phone calls that need to be made so that I can make sure that I'll have enough money to keep this roof over my head. So yeah, I'm just going to keep rolling along like I always do. Some days it's difficult. Today was a difficult day. I'll smile, be as happy as I can be, but today was a difficult day. And honestly, I know that in Canadian politics there's a ton of things happening, and I should be paying attention to it because that's what the other show is about, but I kind of had to ignore it today for my mental health and well-being. I'll be up early in the morning and I'll read about it then. But today I kind of just sidestepped it, watched movies, hung out with my dog. It was all I was capable of. And I think that's probably okay. I think it's okay that that's what I was capable of. Hey, look, it's another day, you get through the day, one day at a time. And sometimes one day at a time is all you're capable of. When you're struggling with a mental health crisis, it can be 1 minute at a time. Get through the next minute, get through the next 15, the next 30, the next hour, till you're able to get through a day and not feel terrible about yourself. I'm not in that situation right now. I'm not. But I have been there before, and it's hell. It's a living hell. When every minute feels like an hour, and every hour feels like a day. And the pain just doesn't go away. So I know that feeling. I know it all too well. And I'm trying not to let myself get sucked down into that vacuum. Because if you go down into that, go into the basement, for want of a better term, sometimes it's hard to get out. It's difficult to climb out of it. And as a result, sometimes you can just dwell in your own sadness and enjoy it in a very weird, warped way. And I don't want to do that. And I don't feel sorry for myself. My goodness, that was something I'd been told throughout my life. Oh, you're just feeling sorry for yourself. I'm like, no, long before I knew I had depression or anxiety, not knowing what was wrong with me, it was like, no, I don't feel sorry for myself. I just feel bad. And, one of the things today that the openness about people talking about their mental health that I find very productive and good and positive and self-affirming or life-affirming is the fact that we can have these conversations in an open forum. And as a result, we can usually find out things about ourselves that we didn't know before. I was accused many times throughout my life, oh, you're just feeling sorry for yourself. When no, I just hated myself and didn't want to wake up the next day. It wasn't a thought of self-harm. It was just like you just want the pain to stop. And I lived decades like that. It was, it'll be 5 years ago in February when I decided that, okay, I can't do this alone anymore, and I chose to take medication. And the medication has made a tremendous difference in my life, but it's not a cure. It doesn't solve anything. It helps. It helps take the brain chemicals, the bad ones, put them away and bring the good ones in and help things to work correctly. I know that was a very generic statement, but I don't want to get into the science of serotonin reuptake inhibitors and how they work. I'm not a scientist, but I've read extensively about it. But I can't. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist or a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist. I'm just a guy who understands what he goes through and wants to share it with people so that maybe somewhere somebody may say to themselves, I'm not alone. Somebody else feels the same way I do. And that was the thing I learned about group therapy. Sharing with a group of people what you're going through and people in the group identifying with you what you were going through was incredibly enlightening, and it lifted my spirits, and it made me feel better because you realize that you're not alone. And that's the thing about mental health when it comes to depression and anxiety. And those are the only two I can really speak about. ADHD and OCD are different. But when it comes to depression and anxiety, you always feel like you're alone and like nobody understands you. So that's why I share this here. So that somebody somewhere, if you see this, if you come across this, maybe you'll know that you're not alone. There are people who feel what you're feeling. Some of us feel it more than others. Many of us experience it for the first time and don't know what we're going through. And that is hell. It's absolutely hell on earth. You're trying to figure out what is wrong with your mind. Why do you feel the way you feel? And you have these bad, invasive, terrible thoughts, and you might think, am I losing my mind? Am I going crazy? Well, you're not. But you might need to seek help. You might need medication. You might need hospitalization. You might need therapy. Or you might just need group therapy like this, in a virtual setting, where you can be completely anonymous. And as I've said time and time again, this forum is for anybody who is suffering. I don't care about your politics, your religion, your hockey team. I don't care about what your belief system is. If you are suffering from depression or anxiety or both, and you need a place where you can just come and either you can just chime into the chat and observe and read. You can contribute. You can reach out to me if you like. Or maybe you just need to feel like you're part of a group so that you know you're not alone. And even though maybe I'm the one speaking, of course, and there's friends who chat in the live chat and talk about what they're feeling oftentimes, but I don't suggest that you have to do that, by the way. If you want to, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you are suffering, I need you to know that you're not alone. You're not. And that's imperative and important that you understand that you're not alone. That there are others who do know what you're feeling. We don't know your exact circumstances, but we know what it's like to feel the effects of poor mental health. We know what it's like to have an anxiety attack. We know what it's like to have a severe bout of depression where you can't get out of bed for days at a time sometimes. where your motivation is maybe I can get up and take a shower today. Maybe I can make myself something to eat today. I've been there. I know what that's like. It's hell. It's a living hell. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I'm sorry that, people feel that way. I wish I could say, here, take this pill and this will fix everything. We don't have that yet. We have treatments. Now, there may be some alternative treatments that might work very, very well. And I'm looking into some of them and considering them in the new year. I don't want to start anything until after the Christmas season. Whether you celebrate or not, it's a busy, chaotic time. And I know it can be an incredibly lonely time for a lot of people because even if you don't celebrate, you might not be able to see your friends or your colleagues as much as you once did. Or when they're celebrating, you feel left out because that's not your jam. So, as the holidays rapidly approach, as Christmas rapidly approaches, I know that a lot of people feel empty and alone and lost. So, I'll be back here again next Monday to chat with you once more and let you know it's okay. Feel what you're feeling, and I know it's hell, but I know that sense of community, the sense of I'm not alone in this struggle, that somebody else somewhere understands, carries a lot of water. And I hope that this little chat helped you. I hope this brought you some peace of mind, maybe some peace, maybe some, I don't know, like a warm hug, if you will. To know that you're not alone. To know that your suffering isn't unnoticed. We know. We see it. We feel it. And we know that stepping forth, coming out of the shadows and telling people what you're going through can be difficult. Admitting that, I think there's something wrong with me is not easy. I hid my anxiety for decades. I hid my depression for a long time. I spoke about it in the 90s. Didn't go over well, so I kept it hidden for decades. And then I started to talk about it again. And it did get much worse before it got better, which is why I chose to take medication, because I couldn't do it on my own anymore. The positive thoughts that you wanted to have, you weren't able to create anymore. You couldn't find satisfaction or joy in anything because depression robbed you of all of that. If you felt like that, I know how you feel. I'm not there today. Today was, feeling a little down, feeling a little anxious about the future, but we all feel that from time to time. But it was a bit of a, not going to lie, I did have an anxiety attack. But I mask it well. You wouldn't know. You could be sitting next to me in a coffee shop and you wouldn't know there was anything wrong with me. When internally I'm freaking out. It's just because I've learned to hide it from the world. For whatever reason. I have my reasons. You may have yours. I don't need to discuss why I do that. It's my choice. It's what I choose to do. Boils down to this. In the end, I only want people to have my best. I'm sort of paraphrasing, but from a negative aspect, if you will, that famous quote attributed to Marilyn Monroe, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Well, I've always hated that statement because it is so selfish and so self-centered. At least I feel that way. I only ever want to give you my best. You don't deserve my worst. No one does. That's how I live my life. Not telling you to do the same. You live your life the best way you can. Take care. I'll see you next Monday. Maybe earlier in the week if I can get it together. Lots going on right now, and you know, I just want to, like I said, I want to give you my best. So take care. I'll see you soon.